think I'm just going to read one more session and then that'll be it for today. Stage 2, once you decide to put your life energy into something, you must then decide whether or not you will unfold your own potential with regard to that something. You must choose whether or not to put your own personal energy into it. At this stage, the crucial choice is to unfold or not to unfold. The personal caring or love you put into any life effort is crucial to the outcome of the effort and to your personal development. Your love is essentially in unfolding the I within you, the part of your mind in charge of your personal well-being. Will you personally care enough to solve the problems which arise in the course of your effort, or will you simply sit back and let whatever happens happen? Huge, huge, huge issue for me, because it's like, okay, I got to change my world, and do I really want to put my life energy into that? And my world is my world in here. So it would be just another example of downdrafting if I take on the responsibility that everybody needs to change themselves, and I don't take on that responsibility. I do from my perspective, but I ultimately know that if I want to change my world, I am the world that I want to change, and I've got to constantly listen to my own advice and change my world. And am I willing to deal with what comes up with it? And it's like, yeah, lots of controversy, lots of negative. Face it, everything about this is saying everything you believe to be true is wrong. So in reality, if I end up doing what it is I want to do, there's going to be so much criticism because I'm telling everybody that you're wrong. If that ain't going to come up with a little bit of a challenging conversation, I got to expect that. So do I sit back every time I have a challenging conversation or not? Or, how do I deal with all of that? And that is I'm willing to deal with whatever needs to come up. If there's a lot of criticism, I'm willing to take that on and just not let that affect me, and realize that those are the challenges that I want to make happen. And part of my process in developing this is I constantly needed to prove myself to everybody. That is what constantly perpetuated the abuse. I was always accused of something, and I didn't like being accused of that, so I had to prove, no, you're wrong. And now I'm at a stage where I no longer need to prove anything to anybody, but prove it to myself. So whoever it is that I want to be, I got to just trust in myself that I am being who I want to be and not prove that to anybody. I prove it by being who I want to be, not by trying to prove who I want to be. And you'll find that you will create more conflict in your life if you're trying to prove something instead of just being something. That was my biggest life lesson. Stage 3. Out of the first two choices, a third naturally evolves. It is the choice to commit or not to commit to a person or project you care about and have decided to put your life energy into. Commitment means taking personal charge of your life energy and keep it focused on a relationship or the project. In the relationship, commitment means loyalty and dedication to the living bond between both persons. On the job, commitment means staying true to the agreement upon assignment until it reaches its fulfillment. Enduring commitment promotes the flow of your personal life energy, which in love environment allows the fullest potential of each person and the relationships to be realized. And there again is another challenge that I deal with too, but being committed is not exactly what we all think it is. It means constantly being aligned with yourself. And some days it feels like nothing's happening. But that is my perception that nothing is happening. I'm still, you can't get away from that commitment. That's why, to be committed to something means that you're going to not go with the flow of your own personal energies. That it is more, where I was going wrong is I always was committed to a project that went against my will, and that commitment was hard and challenging. But now I live my commitment naturally. There is zero effort, and it's like everything that comes up every day, every challenge, every non-changing event, like life is freaking boring. I'm at one with that boredom, and just question, why am I bored? Or I go with the flow of my own personal energy and just observe everything that's happening and wondering, this is interesting. Why would this happen? How can I use this to my benefit? Because ultimately, if I'm in tune and committed to what I want naturally, without any effort, everything that appears to be negative is something that is my opportunity to not look at it as a negative, but to transform it into, how can I best use this to the project that I'm working on? Which is why I don't, there's this big doctor group that's harassing and putting up a whole pile of videos. It's like, okay, that comes along with the project that I'm working on. Do I want to prove myself? No, I'm just going to be who I want to be. I'm not going to engage with trying to prove anything to anybody. I had to readjust my rules, which were, I don't like to censor anybody, but then there was like thousands of negative comments that my channel is about. I like to interact with people that are on my channel. I really like it small, because that way I can see what you said. Maybe you have something to teach me, because that's the whole point of all of this is, I'm still I will always look at myself as the student and not the teacher. So if I have a point of view, maybe you see something in me I don't see in myself, and the only way I'll see that is if I have open communication. Most of the things that I block are cunt, whore, gonna get you. I mean, there's no lessons in that. There's, or negative judgments that I have to justify myself with, usually people that have constructive criticism usually are very friendly and loving, and when they are in that loving potential, I know it's coming from a source of truth. When words are really negative and angry and fearful, I know whatever advice is going to be negative. So that's how I've had to readjust my rules and censor my channel from that negative energy that's on there, so that we can remain this group really loving and peaceful. Really went against my rules, but I went with the flow that supported my mission. So that's that's one thing that I disagree with this guy, or the wording of these books is commitment and loyalty. Seems, the way he says it, seems to be a really huge effort, and that it should be effortless. When you find your commitment in life, it's effortless. And that's one problem, is like, if it is an effort, you're doing something wrong. That effort means you've got something that you need to transform. That's all. So anytime you're dealing with a challenge or it feels like it's a real effort, chances are you're off your path, and you just need to get yourself back on path. So anyway, the first three stages set the foundation of the fourth and next crucial choice: to act or not to act. Because the flow of your personal life energy is almost always influenced by immature holodynes, you must learn to overcome these barriers to your empowered potential as an individual by acting within the systems. Ironically, I'm drinking right now from Accept and Allow, and that is so valuable, to just take a step back and just, okay, things don't feel too good today, but something's really good about this. Once you birth a project, once you decide to mature it and commit yourself to seeing its potential fulfilled, the consequences are set. You must learn to handle these consequences, to act upon them, If you decide to get rich, you must learn everything it takes to make money and to handle it. If you decide to get healthy, you must learn everything you need to know to achieve health. And you must teach all your holodynes how to act in harmony with your new objectives. Now, see, this guy. That's probably why our corporate world is screwed up. Is because guys like this have perfect tools. You know, this is a perfect tool. But if he even uses the word, "You want to get rich," it's like, why is it you feel you aren't rich already? You know, why is there a focus to be great wealth if you are connected with your world, at your universe, and see the connection that getting rich means? If you want to get rich, that means you've got to be at one with making somebody else poor. So that's kind of why I choose poverty right now, with the goal of, yeah, I'm going to get rich, but I'm going to take a globe with me so we are all rich together. You know, and just use the steps of, as I get rich, you get rich. And this is sort of like a done deal. It's already done. I just need to be good at my project. And I've never failed at anything I've ever done. So if I get rich, which I'm going that way, it means that globally we're all going to get rich. So it's a global massive challenge, that it's a massive project that I want to do. The stage 5 choice is to become or not become, to integrate or not to integrate what you have learned into your total life. How many of us rationally know how to get rich or healthy, but have never intuitively integrated the knowledge? Any new endeavor requires an incubation period in which all aspects of your inner and outer world come together as part of your new growth. At that point, you realize, I am in charge of becoming rich, or I am in charge of my health. As you integrate these principles within your mind, you become you come to own them, to realize, I am abundance, or I am health. Your conscious self and your individual I come into alignment with your personal place in the implicit order of the universe. It is happening. It's just a process. Stage 6. At stage 6, you choose to extend or not to extend, to use your new holodynes to their fullest capacity or not to, and thus to curtail your growth, to extend your life energy, to bring any project or relationship to its fullest bloom. You must become fully attuned with the implicit order. You have chosen to give life to your specific potential, to personally care, to commit your time and resources to it, to do whatever it takes to complete it, to integrate your knowledge into your sense of being, and to become it according to the principles and universality. When you have chosen to extend yourself, to pour into your fullest potential, the I within you, the universe responds. Your I unfolds and your fullest potential is realized. There is a great depth to the human mind. There is also great order. Once you see how the implicit order aligns all the thought streams of the mind so that they can systematically unfold through all 6 stages of development, life becomes easier. And the fulfillment of your own potential becomes easier. See, that's the part that it is effortless. For instance, one day I was playing with my kids in the living room, and all of a sudden there was a heavy pounding on the door. My kids all looked at me kind of frightened. I said, I'll get it, swung the door open and said hi, and there stood one of my neighbors who had just moved into the house 3 doors down the block. With both hands raised above his head, his face beet red, he screamed at me at the top of his lungs, your son is ruining my daughter. Now you see, I can have dealt with him at any of the several stages. I could have been truly physical and just punched him out, let him have it before he had a chance to lower his arms and defend himself, or I could have said at stage 2, you can't talk to me that way. I might also have said at stage 3, I know, my son's ruined all daughters in the neighborhood. I could have gone to stage 4 and asked, do you know what the Bible says about people who act like you? I also could have entered stage 5, which I did, and owned that the man's intentionality was genuine concern for his daughter. So I stepped up to him and said, if you're really concerned about the welfare of your daughter, you'll look at how your father, her father, are treating her. You are doing far more damage psychologically to her right now than my son ever could. So he went into judging, downdrafting. He judged the guy. Peace out.